Welcome to this week 5 session. On this week, we're going to address this new topic about sustainable operations and maintenance. And as an introduction, we're going to see an overview of this topic about sustainable operations. What green practices we can do will be, first of all, to have environmentally friendly practices, reduce the building impact. Another green practice will be to have core principles about energy, water, waste, and air. How do we manage all these resources? And another practice will be how we save in costs and how we have the emission reduction to improve the efficiency and what are the benefits of this. Another green practice will be the industry importance to the standards that we can get for having these practices. And we're going to see some examples of how to do green cleaning, landscaping, energy systems, etc. And well, this example of the Empire State Building, if you get into the webpage of the Empire State Building, there is a site for sustainability. Here they talk about all the retrofits they've done and how the Empire State Building by itself, it's an icon for sustainability in New York City. Well, since its construction, it's been a symbol of technology, imagination, and ambition. And today it's a leader on sustainability. Uh, why they are leaders in sustainability in the city? Well, they have different systems for energy efficiency projects. They retrofitted the windows, all the lighting system, and well, so far they dramatically reduced the building energy use and saved millions of dollars in energy costs. They continue to play a part in the leader of sustainable operation and make a point to share with the world the key lessons they learned on the way. Over the past 10 years, the Empire State Building has been groundbreaking energy and efficiency retrofitting as part of the 550 million Empire State Rebuilding and Restoration Program. Well, the sustainable transformation is mixed with innovation, engineering, and experience powered by the energy efficiency to retrofit that transformed Empire State Building into one of the most efficient historic landmarks. Uh, Despite being an old building, 100 years, almost 100 years, the building is on the top 20 or better of all Class A commercial assets in the nation, in the USA. Well, the energy used uh, from the elevators that recapture energy, that will be a loss of heat to the radiators, which is use effective barriers to reduce heat loss into the air, is designed to reduce the total carbon footprint. Uh, the lights, the lightings, as I mentioned, also, it's one of the innovations that transform the building. All the building lighting system include an adaptive dimming system that adjusts to light coming from the outside. In addition, much of the building original lighting was replaced with energy efficient fixtures. The windows also has 6,514 windows. During the retrofit, they retrofitted every single one of them. quadrupling the energy performance while reducing over 96% of existing materials all on site. Well, and this building is a landmark for sustainability in the city, and they have also an Energy Star certified since 2010. This is a certification of efficiency on buildings, and they also focus on health, indoor environmental quality, and wellness. They have no or low VOC materials, no red list materials allowed, more 13 filters there, regular IEQ testing for the whole building, access to daylight and views on every tenant floor, green cleaning, integrated pest management, and a private fitness center discounted for all occupants. Well, here's more information and videos about the Empire State Building and the companies that worked to achieve this goal to a sustainable building. Well, here you can also buy the tickets and see any sales or contact the facility managers of the building. And well, this is a clear example and a landmark on the USA for sustainability. Environmental preservation are sustainable practices like green cleaning, energy management are pivotal for reducing emissions, conserving resources, and preserving biodiversity. Real-world examples like the Empire State Building showcase a tangible benefit of sustainability. We're also going to see and understand the principles of sustainable operations in order to have a sustainable approach, a balanced sustainable approach on our facility management. We need to apply the triple bottom line. That consists on having economic sustainability, invest in sustainable technologies, social sustainability, to have community engagement and well-being, and have also environmental ability to reduce environmental impact with initiatives. This is how we can achieve sustainability, have a balanced economic, social, and environmental factor. And also to have an environmental impact evaluation, we need to do a life cycle assessment. Life cycle assessment, or LCA, evaluates environmental impacts from product inception to disposal. It guides sustainable decision making by analyzing raw material extraction, manufacturing distribution, usage, and disposal recycling stages for holistic. And here we can see the life cycle assessment of a construction product. First, they start with the product as a raw material supply. They transform the material and send it to manufacturing. So they can send it for construction. Once they have the manufacturing, or maybe they transport the material, they can send it to the construction site, maybe for distribution, transportation, and construction. This can be for a new or a renovation project. And also they can install the material directly. The other part of the cycle will be the use of the products installed, the maintenance, the repairs they have to do, any replacement, refurbishment, and the building's operational use. Well, this is where facility management it's focused on the use of the building. And finally, as most of the buildings has on lifetime. So when they get to the end of the life of the building, they can get into deconstruction, demolition, um, transportation, also reuse, recycling, or disposal as waste. We'll learn about green cleaning and sustainable landscaping practices, and environmentally friendly cleaning will be to have eco-certified cleaning products. Maybe we can use Green Seal or Ecologo products. We may also use microfiber cleaning cloths for efficient and eco-friendly cleaning. Also important to have a proper waste disposal to implement recycling protocols, and also to have your staff trained and educate the people to enhance green cleaning effectiveness. Another practice will be to monitor the impact, and the regular audit will help with that for doing some improvements. Sustainable landscaping benefits will be to have water conservation, to reduce the outdoor water usage. We also have biodiversity promotion. This will support ecosystem health. We're going to have an aesthetic enhancement of the property, improving visual appeal and value. As inspiring examples, we have the High Line from New York City and the Singapore Botanic Gardens. And well, we're going to see this video about the High Line in New York City. This is an example of how they transformed this space to convert the project into a really healthy space for the occupants, for tourists, and a really beautiful transformation of space on this.
Hi, I'm Richard Luccheo. I'm the art and architecture critic of Time magazine, and I'm here today at the High Line Park in Lower Manhattan with one of the designers, Rick Scofidio. His firm, Diller Scofidio and Renfro, helped to design this very unique park in a disused railway bed, along with James Corner Field Operations, a landscape architectural firm. And today Rick is going to give us a tour through this incredible, unusual, and very, very successful new park. Rick, the park was conceived in a way as a series of episodes, visually and almost sometimes emotionally.
I tend to think of it myself, I tend to think of it like a musical composition, that there's one theme that is continuous. The planking system, what you call agritecture, the way that feathers into the grass, the way you can move and wander through that, is it starts with establishing the theme, and then it plays with the theme, and it changes like the plants as it moves into different areas.
The High Line Park is situated in the track bed of what was once an elevated railway line that ran down the west side of Manhattan to transport freight to the factories and warehouses that lined that part of town. The railway tracks originally ran at street level, but that turned out to be dangerous for pedestrians and drivers. So in 1934, the city transferred them to an elevated bed about 30 feet above street level. But the gradual disappearance of small manufacturing in Manhattan meant less business for the railway over the years, and in 1980 it made its last run. Grasses, wildflowers, and small trees sprouted in the soil that the rail lines were embedded in. The whole thing became an urban ruin. For a long time, everyone assumed that the moribund High Line tracks would be torn down. But in 1999, two local residents, Joshua David and Robert Hammond, formed an organization called Friends of the High Line in the hope that it could be preserved and put to some public purpose. Eventually, they got the city of New York to sign on to the idea, although no one was entirely sure yet what the idea was. It started to take more concrete form in 2003 when an open design competition attracted hundreds of proposals. Construction began in April 2006, and the first half-mile stretch of the park opened to the public in June of this year.
It's a park that really celebrates the city. And people up here will walk 20 blocks, and which they would never do 30 feet below us. You might walk 1 or 2 blocks, but that's considered a lot. Up here, people stroll. The pace of their blood pressure, New York angst, drops down. And I think one of the keys to that is just the flight of stairs, which brings you slowly up, brings you under the structure, lets you appreciate this kind of wild construction, and then you emerge into the landscape.
The park was constructed by removing the railroad tracks and completely digging out the bed, then cleaning and reinforcing it before laying down a concrete base. Then soil was filled back in and long stretches of the tracks relaid precisely where they had been before. I like the fact that the designers of the High Line understand that street life in New York is a spectator sport. It's a characteristic of recent work by Diller, Scofidio, and Renfro to include a bleacher-style seating element with each new building. But the grandstand at the High Line is the best one yet. It looks down 10th Avenue through a glass wall that turns the view into something like a widescreen movie, with traffic and pedestrians supplying the action. One of the things I admire the most about the High Line is that it's taken an old piece of New York infrastructure and brilliantly repurposed it without turning it into an exercise in nostalgia. The High Line Park hasn't merely preserved the old railway line, it's brought it back to life as a fully functioning and completely contemporary part of the city. Well, Rick, after working on this project for almost 4 years, how does it feel to see people actually using it?
Well, it's amazing when something first opens, all I can see are the problems, things that we call the punch list that the contractor still has to repair. But a few times now when I've been up here, particularly in the evening, and just kind of slowed down, take my own blood pressure down, it's really wonderful to watch the people. I don't look at the park, I look at the people. And that gives me kind of a great insight that we've really accomplished something I think that's important for the city. And I do think it's a new kind of park. I don't think there's anything like this anyplace else in the world.
This is Richard Lacayo for Time Magazine.
Well, and going to the other side of the world, we have another example that will be the Singapore Botanic Gardens. And this short video will explain a little the story about this project and how the interaction with the people and the tourists on that place is being held.
The concept of modern botanic gardens, born out of a union between aesthetics and scientific pursuits, emerged during the Enlightenment period of the 18th century. This idea eventually found its way to Singapore, leading to the establishment of the Singapore Botanic Gardens in 1859. The gardens continues to captivate as a beloved cultural landmark, serving as a venue where families, friends, and the community gather through lively concerts, engaging workshops, and informative tours. The gardens assumes a pivotal role in nurturing a deep appreciation for nature among Singaporeans. And what impact will the gardens have on the lives of Singaporeans in the future?
I feel that the gardens also has a crucial role to play in giving future generations a glimpse into our nation's past and connecting them with the natural and cultural heritage of Singapore and the wider region.
I hope that the Singapore Botanic Gardens will be able to encourage the future generation of Singaporeans to love nature and to learn more about the local flora and fauna. In learning more about these, it may inspire future generations to protect our native Singapore species.
The Botanic Gardens, in its perpetual evolution, remains steadfast in its mission of bridging the gap between plants and people. Discover the gardens and make your own memories today.
In order to develop skills in energy management and building automation systems, we will need to address the energy efficiency strategies, such as insulation, It's important to have an insulated building to reduce the heat transfer and save energy. If we have an old building, maybe we need to do some lighting upgrades to reduce the electricity use and reduce the maintenance costs. And HVAC optimization is also another strategy to improve the energy efficiency as well and operational performance. The smart technologies now are also useful to enhance sustainability efforts. Sometimes these smart tools and sensors give you control and data, monitor the use of energy. And this comes with financial benefits that lowers the cost on the building, of use of the building, and increase the property value. For an efficient energy optimization, we may also have building automation systems. These building automation systems can optimize energy use by controlling HVAC, lighting, and security. As I already mentioned, these smart technologies enhance comfort, reduce costs, and improve sustainability. An example of this is the Edge at Grand Central Tower. There are a couple of case studies that we're going to see. On this next video, we're going to see the guide to building automation systems. This is an explanation of how these systems work.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Building Automation Specialists, your go-to channel for all things related to the building automations industry. If you're here for the first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated on our informative content. Building automation has become an indispensable tool in today's modern world. The allure of the smart building, featuring systems that handle everything from temperature and lighting control to security and safety functions, is not just the domain of high-tech companies or state-of-the-art homes. A variety of organizations can leverage building automation systems, BAS, to improve energy efficiency, reduce operating costs, and create a more comfortable, convenient environment. This article will walk you through the basic elements of building automation, its advantages, and steps to implement it. What is building automation? Building automation refers to the automatic control of various building systems, including HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, lighting, security, and other systems, to create an intelligent, responsive environment. The goal is to improve the building's functionality, increase comfort for its occupants, and optimize energy use. The automation system often involves the use of software and hardware, sensors, controllers, and actuators, all of which work together to control and manage various building functions. With these, it becomes possible to automate tasks that were once manual, like adjusting room temperatures, dimming lights, or locking doors. Advantages of building automation. Building automation offers several advantages. Energy efficiency. One of the main benefits of building automation is energy conservation. By precisely controlling heating and cooling, lighting, and other energy-consuming systems, BAS can significantly reduce energy waste and lower utility bills. Cost savings. While the upfront costs can be substantial, the long-term savings in energy and maintenance costs often make the investment worthwhile. Additionally, automation systems can prolong the life of building systems by running them more efficiently and alerting staff to potential issues before they become costly problems. Comfort and convenience. BAS can help create a more comfortable environment by maintaining consistent temperatures, lighting levels, and air quality. This is not just beneficial for those living or working in the building, but it can also improve productivity and satisfaction. Security. Automated systems can enhance building security. For example, they can control access to various parts of the building, monitor surveillance cameras, and trigger alarms if necessary. Implementing building automation, step by step. 1. Identify your needs. The first step in implementing a BAS is to identify your specific needs and objectives. These could range from energy conservation and cost reduction to enhancing security or improving comfort levels. 2. Assess your current systems. Evaluate your current building systems to understand their functionality, efficiency, and how they might integrate with a new automation system. It may be necessary to upgrade some systems before they can be effectively automated. 3. Select the right automation system. There are a variety of building automation systems available, from comprehensive, integrated solutions to more basic systems. The right choice will depend on your specific needs, budget, and the complexity of your building systems. 4. Work with a trusted provider. Implementing a BAS can be complex, so it's beneficial to work with an experienced provider. They can help design and install the system, ensuring it meets your needs and can grow with your building. 5. Train your staff. To make the most of a BAS, building staff need to be trained on its use. This includes not only how to control the system but also how to interpret the data it provides to make informed decisions about building operations. 6. Regular maintenance and updates. Like any complex system, a BAS needs regular maintenance and occasional updates to remain effective. This includes checking and calibrating sensors, updating software, and replacing any worn-out components. Final thoughts. Building automation presents a transformative opportunity for property owners and managers. By effectively managing and controlling the various systems in a building, a BAS can provide a higher quality of life for occupants, significant energy savings, and a more sustainable future. It's not a small undertaking, but with careful planning and implementation, building automation can deliver significant rewards. As a beginner, understanding the basics outlined in this guide is the first step to embracing the immense benefits of building automation.
We will address also the importance of green cleaning. Breathing, this is the most basic thing to do for the tenants. Breathing on healthy spaces, it's very important to have a good indoor air quality. This is vital for occupants' well-being and productivity. Green cleaning enhances air quality by using eco-friendly products, reducing chemicals, and improving ventilation. A case study of this will be the Empire State. Having eco-friendly products also have its own benefits. If we use green cleaning products, we may experience chemical exposure reduction. We'll minimize this risk of chemicals. We'll protect the environment, having less pollution and safer spaces. We will also have more cost-effective solutions, such as budget-friendly and efficient budgets for maintenance. And we can apply for certifications to ensure the quality, looking for the green seal. And let's see this video of how the Empire State Building got this transformation. As I already mentioned, the retrofit of the Empire State Building, it's an icon for the city and almost the whole country.
The Empire State Building project says a lot about America's ability to reinvent itself. Be it a way of thinking, be it a system in a building, be it a light bulb. We can shift, we can change, we can upgrade, we can make better.
In New York City alone, there are 900,000 buildings, and every one of those buildings 24/7 is using energy. So it's important to think about it constantly, what a difference you can make by being more efficient in the way you occupy a building.
The Empire State Rebuilding Program is a top-to-bottom new look at the building. It's great to build green, but it's more important to begin to look at energy efficiency in the existing built environment.
We're going to reduce the energy consumption of this building by 40%. You know, we're doing actually some very
common sense type things.
So in the Empire State Building, one of the things they're doing is replacing all their windows. It's actually an incredibly smart thing to do. You're either losing a lot of heat or you're losing a lot of your cooling through the window.
This is one of the windows at the Empire State Building, and there are 6,500 similar windows. When we rebuild them, we'll be adding a solar heat guard.
You immediately start to see savings. Save the environment, save dollars. They work together.
For us, the Empire State Building was a desired place to relocate to. We have a control system that measures the light that comes in the windows and therefore dims the overhead light. And we get about 46% energy savings, primarily due to the lights.
We have two strategies that govern everything we do here. Only use energy when you need to use it, and only use as much as you need to.
It's a collection of a lot of small little ideas that ultimately add up to major impacts.
I think this is a model that the whole world can use. That's our goal in developing it, is not just for iconic buildings, not only for the most famous office building in the world. We are implementing these programs in buildings throughout the country, and we hope that others will join us in doing so around the world.
We will also see the benefits for a sustainable landscape. Water conservation will be the most important practice for a sustainable landscape. Sustainable landscaping aids water conservation through efficient irrigation and drought-resistant plants. Explore the California Academy of Science case study showcasing 30% water reduction with native plants and also with advanced irrigation. This will also give you the ecosystem harmony cultivation. Sustainable landscaping fosters native habitats, boosting biodiversity, crucial for ecosystem stability. Enhancing biodiversity through green practices leads to improved soil health, natural pest control, and enhanced pollination for ecosystem sustainability. Now we'll address the energy management systems in buildings. Having a smart energy monitoring to track the use, identify efficiency opportunities, and optimize energy consumption. This can be real-time data to analyze and lead to substantial energy savings in commercial buildings. Not also in commercial buildings, also in residential or other types of. Having a renewable energy integration may also help to integrate solar panels with wind turbines into buildings energy systems to reduce carbon footprint and fossil fuel dependence. A case study shows up to 50% lower emissions and net zero energy consumption. If we want to try to get our home to be a net zero home, we need to consider these different aspects and practices that we can apply into our home. We can start with having an efficient water management, a good insulation, also mostly for the kitchen to reduce the heat and cooling demands for the comfort inside. It's also important to have energy starved appliances that consume as low energy as possible. If you have an HVAC system inside, to have a fresh air system, and also if you have a water heater, to have an efficient electric water heater. Also important to have an under slab insulation, if possible, home energy management system, efficient lightings, heat pump, high performance windows and doors, smart devices, and exceptional air sealing to dramatically reduce the largest source of heat loss, and having renewable generation. It's possible also to have a charging port to enable a faster regeneration of an electric vehicle battery system. Maybe if you don't have the budget to do this, you can start with the most simple features, and you can continue applying the different systems to get to a net zero home. We'll see some case studies of successful sustainable operations. We already seen some examples, and we're going to go deeper into these case studies. There are different buildings with green certification, such as the LEED Platinum. We already seen this example from The Edge on the Netherlands. This has 98% of energy reduction. If we can mention another example, we can the One Central Park, which is the building with the highest BREEAM rating. The benefits of certifications are that you can increase the value of your property, you will increase the health of the occupants, and you will have cost savings. And well, the importance for sustainable practices are essential to having this type of certificate. And this other example, it's the One Central Park. This building is located on Sydney, Australia. This building is mostly for apartments, retail. The architect is Jean Nouvel. It was built in 2014. And well, it got different green solutions, green roof. As you can see, it's a different type of building on the city. Got green walls also, and it uses almost 250 species of Australian flowers and plants. It's got hanging gardens, just like the Central Park, New York. It's a 6,400 square meter park in a lush, tranquil meeting place where you can relax with friends and family. It's got a big cantilever and heliostat. And this cantilever crowns the pinnacle of the One Central Park, and it contains the most luxurious penthouses. And well, here you have some pictures of the project, how they focus on the design, the location, skyline, and how it looks. As you can see, it's got a lot of green. It is an interesting project for sustainability and for wealth. And here's a video of more detail about this project, the One Central Park, and you will see.
This building, One Central Park, was the first major building on the Central Park development. Central Park development was a large urban renewal redevelopment in the south part of the Sydney CBD. It's a very interesting area. It's at the junction of the Sydney CBD Peninsula and the Pyrmont Peninsula and Central Railway Station. So it's a sort of knuckle of Sydney. It's also at the transition between the dense buildings of the city and the lower scale residential buildings of the adjacent Chippendale. So this building really makes the transition between one type of environment to another. So the vision of this building was always to create that linkage between the two, and also to make a very positive contribution to the surrounding areas through creating a large parkland where there was none in the past. This site used to be occupied by the Carlton United Brewery. It was a walled industrial site. There was very little, if any, public access, certainly no public amenity. So this new development has got a large park at its centre. On the whole, I think it's got about 30,000 square metres of landscaped area, including the vertical walls and the parkland. So it's a very, very significant contribution to the area, and also a significant increase in amenity to the people living around the area, and that's always been part of the vision. One other very important aspect of the design of this building was the relationship of this building with the adjacent UTS tower. These two buildings together form the gateway from the south to the city. It's a very, very important composition. So the combination of the relationship to the whole city, and then the fine-grained relationship with the adjacent residential areas has been the challenge of this building, and in a way the success of the building. But it's a fascinating building at a detail level, and also a very successful building at a macro level. PTW were the collaborating architect with Atelier Jean Nouvel. Atelier Jean Nouvel are a French-based firm who've done remarkable buildings all over the world, and they were the concept architects for this building. PTW worked very closely with Atelier Jean Nouvel, with representatives of their practice who were based in our practice in Sydney, to develop their concepts into what you see today. That has been the challenge of this building. In a way, one of the remarkable achievements of this building is that you have an extraordinary building that's unlike any other building in the world, that has been achieved in a very conventional way, and in some regards a very cost-effective way. One of the questions we're always asked about this development is, how does it make commercial sense? How could you do something so strange? And it is a very odd building, compared to any other commercial development around the city. How could you do something so strange in a way that makes commercial sense? And that is the miracle of this building, that it is an extraordinary, very unusual building, but it's built in very conventional ways. So PTW worked very closely with Atelier Jean Nouvel, and Atelier Jean Nouvel guided the concept all the way through, and we helped realise their concepts in ways that made sense to the local construction environment. One example of that might be the enormous amount of greenery on the building. When you look at it from any perspective, it's just bizarre, completely unusual, unprecedented in the city and unprecedented in the world, but it's achieved in a very, very basic way. The greenery is either just growing up very simple stainless steel wires, or it is growing out of planter boxes. The planter boxes are simple roto-moulded polyethylene plastic boxes, not unlike garbage bin technology. And they are placed all the way around the building. I think there's almost 2 kilometres of them. And they are wrapped up then in an Alucobond panel. So it is very, very basic construction technologies that you'd see on many buildings around the city, but applied in a very unusual and innovative way, in a very cost-effective manner. And that applies to a whole range of things through this development. We're standing today for this interview on the Sky Garden. The Sky Garden is an extraordinary object in itself. It's a cantilevered structure that extends 40 metres beyond, if you include the heliostat, extends 40 metres beyond the main building. This has been used again using fairly basic bridge technology, large steel trusses that embed themselves, 2 stories high, that embed themselves into the main building, that again are built using very simple methods. It's just steel that's welded together that's sat onto a concrete frame. There's nothing unusual about it, apart from the fact that it's in a residential building and it's 100 metres up in the air. The heliostat's another remarkable element of this building. One of the principal ideas and one of the consequences of the master plan was that if you are to put a large building on the north of the site, that is on the sunny side of the site, you will be blocking the sun from the parkland area. So the aim of this building, of this arrangement, the heliostat arrangement, was to reflect sun from the top of the building adjacent up onto the underside of this Sky Garden on which we're standing now, and back down into the public domain. The intention was to create not a beach-like bright sun environment, but the environment that you would experience as you were walking beneath a tree canopy. So a dappled, sunny environment where it just feels nice. You know, it's not a parkland in deep shade. It's a parkland which has got the charm of a sort of a forest in a way. The interesting thing about this building is it's been extraordinarily well received, and that's for obvious reasons. The building itself makes a significant contribution to the public domain. It's a beautiful building. It's a building which is growing, and there's nothing else like it in Sydney, certainly, and certainly not anything like it in the world. I think the difference, the transformation to the areas immediately around the building and also to the whole of the environment of this part of Sydney has been significant. So you can't ignore that if you're a developer. If you're trying to make commercial sense of your developments, if you're looking at a development such as this one, which has been able to achieve such positives, creates apartments of such wonderful amenity, be commercially successful, you have to take notice and you have to think, well, how have they been able to do that and what lessons can we learn from that? So I think it will have an impact. It'll certainly make other developers in the city environment think. And it certainly has had a positive impact on the architects around Sydney, because it's inspiring to think that this sort of thing, it's not funded by public money, it's not the Opera House where you can just have a go. This is something which is has to make commercial sense. So it's inspiring to think that this sort of development can be achieved using normal commercial parameters. So I think that's going to have a significant, it's going to get architects and developers around the city thinking.
We may also implement these sustainable practices into our daily operations. To achieve this goal, we might train our employees focusing on sustainability. Maybe by having comprehensive modules to cover the different sustainable topics, to engage them through interaction, having interactive sessions with the staff, and measure the effectiveness to evaluate the impact for improvement. We may also have sustainability metrics to track the improvements. It's important to evaluate the sustainable practices to ensure the continuous improvement. Environmental metrics such as the track of the energy, water, the waste, and the emissions are important. Another type of metrics will be the social metrics that focus on health, community, and diversity. Another important metric will be the economic metric, based on what is the budget and analyzing the costs, the ROI, and the savings of applying these sustainable practices. A case study for this will be the Bullitt Center, that it's a building that is focused on achieving the net zero energy and water use. This building has no need for energy and water. And also to seek for a certification such as the LEED certification to encourage continuous improvement into your facility. And focusing on sustainability metrics, the way we can organize these metrics will be to think about the emissions, what will be the carbon emissions across the value chain, the natural resources that we're using, the waste that we're generating, the biodiversity of the natural habitats and ecosystems, and have KPIs for all of them. We can measure everything with KPIs. So once we get these KPIs, we can analyze this data and seeking for improvement, for reporting and disclosure. We also need to think on what will be our greenhouse gas protocol. And this is organized in different scopes. For example, the direct emissions that the company does, the company vehicles, the company facilities. This can be calculated directly by the company. And they also have indirect emissions that will be purchased electricity, steam heating and cooling for their own use. The goods and services, waste from operations, business travels, employee commute, leased assets, transportation and distribution, and fuel and energy related. And also, part of this third scope, we have the investments that we can do in the company, the franchises, the leased assets, and the end-of-life treatment of a sold good, and the use of sold products, processing of sold products, and transportation and distribution. So with these categories, we can generate KPIs, analyze our data, analyze our construction, our consumption, and see if we can make these processes more efficient. There are also future trends for sustainable operations and maintenance. The use of IoT in sustainable operations are a tool for having smart sustainability solutions. The Internet of Things revolutionizes sustainable operations by enabling real-time data monitoring, predictive maintenance, and cost-saving opportunities. IoT empowers data-driven decisions for enhanced operational efficiency and reduced downtime. Circular economy practices such as resource reuse to maximize the resource utilization, recycling initiatives to redesign for circularity, waste reduction to minimize the waste footprint, and the impact on sustainability to drive innovation and revenue. On this video, we will see an explanation of the circular economy and how society can rethink this process.
Living systems have been around for a few billion years and will be around for many more. In the living world, there's no landfill. Instead, materials flow. One species' waste is another's food. Energy is provided by the sun. Things grow, then die, and nutrients return to the soil safely. And it works. Yet as humans, we've adopted a linear approach. We take, we make, and we dispose. A new phone comes out, so we ditch the old one. Our washing machine packs up, so we buy another. Each time we do this, we're eating into a finite supply of resources and often producing toxic waste. It simply can't work long term. So what can? If we accept that the living world's cyclical model works, can we change our way of thinking so that we too operate a circular economy? Let's start with the biological cycle. How can our waste build capital rather than reduce it? By rethinking and redesigning products and components, and the packaging they come in, we can create safe and compostable materials that help grow more stuff. As they say in the movies, no resources have been lost in the making of this material. So what about the washing machines, mobile phones, fridges? We know they don't biodegrade. Here, we're talking about another sort of rethink, a way to cycle valuable metals, polymers, and alloys so they maintain their quality and continue to be useful beyond the shelf life of individual products. What if the goods of today became the resources of tomorrow? it makes commercial sense. Instead of the throw away and replace culture we've become used to, we'd adopt a return and renew one, where products and components are designed to be disassembled and regenerated. One solution may be to rethink the way we view ownership. What if we never actually owned our technologies? We simply licensed them from the manufacturers. Now, let's put these two cycles together. Imagine if we could design products to come back to their makers, their technical materials being reused and their biological parts increasing agricultural value. And imagine that these products are made and transported using renewable energy. Here we have a model that builds prosperity long term. And the good news is, there are already companies out there who are beginning to adopt this way of working. But the circular economy isn't about one manufacturer changing one product. It's about all the interconnecting companies that form our infrastructure and economy coming together. It's about energy. It's about rethinking the operating system itself. We have a fantastic opportunity to open new perspectives and new horizons. Instead of remaining trapped in the frustrations of the present, with creativity and innovation, we really can rethink and redesign our future.
Some educational resources for students and professionals. We might find there are different online sustainability courses. One of them will be Introduction for Sustainable Design. See the energy efficiency, green materials, and passive design. Another course will be Sustainable O&M Strategies for green cleaning, energy management, and landscaping. Another course will be Renewable Energy Technologies, the use of solar, wind, hydropower, and focus on their importance on buildings. And if you want to seek a certification, also the LEED, PI, and NABP certifications can include courses to achieve this certification on your building. You may also seek for professional development workshops. This will give you networking opportunities to connect and collaborate with peers. You will get also the latest trends, awareness to stay updated on the industry advancements. You will get the experts' insights and sharing from the industry leaders. And this is also an interactive learning experience to engage in hands-on activities. And there are also, on these workshops, you may find certifications and see credits for professional officials. And that will be all for my part. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next video.